All right, so good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's class where, of course, you can see from the screen where I will deep dive into artificial intelligence and all other things we need to know concerning artificial intelligence. It's going to be a long class and more of talking class. Yeah, when I say more of talking, here we have to go deep in theory of all these concepts and for deeper understanding. Okay, so these are what we cover today. Let me bring out my this thing. Can zoom in a little. Okay, so we will look at in general, what is artificial intelligence, the history of artificial intelligence, applications of artificial intelligence, types of artificial intelligence. Then also, still in today's class, we will look at neural network, just introduction to it, structure of neural network, types of neural network, and applications of neural network. Okay, so we will start. So what I do, like just like I did the last class, I will give a general explanation from my end, or should I say from my end. Then we look at the some of the definitions, how it's worded here in this document, and I will also have to send the link to this document after this class. We have a lot from it. Okay, so in general, and again, please, as I'm explaining, try to imagine things. Try to, in your own way, in your own brain first, before you get the visuals I have with. Try to visualize things because AI is very pervasive in our daily life. It's what we've been using. So it's today that we come to know the brain behind the AI that we have been using, behind the same things that we've been using, and just to know some wide level of what we've been using. So you've been using AI in a nutshell. Maybe you use the end product, but hopefully by the end of this class, you will get to understand the workings and the behind the scene, the functionalities, its applications, and why do you get to answer the why question to artificial intelligence. So it's what you've been using, but today you understand its workings, its made, and all of that. So try to visualize it and relate my explanation to the AI you've been using daily. All right. So AI is a game changer. Like it is a game-changing technology that is becoming very pervasive in our daily life. By that I mean it's what we've been using. You've used AI in your field, in your day-to-day activities to help productivity and promote efficiency. Okay, so but what is artificial intelligence? And what does this AI means if you are asked? Can you answer this? Or you know AI as Chat GPT, or you know AI in the concept of Delphi where you used to generate image, or you know AI deep. So we get to answer this today. So at a very high level, just imagine a world where computers, I'm trying to make it very real, apply real life scenarios. So just imagine a world where computers aren't just machine that allows manual instructions. By manual instructions, maybe your computer where you input command to open file, to load file, where you can browse movie and watch. So imagine it's more than that, where it is not only used for manual instructions, but in a very high level, it has brains of their own. In quotes, it has brains in quotes. I'm going to explain that. Where Okay, and please, sorry, I'm not in the class screen or in the class page. So if at any point you don't understand me, you can just unmute and call my attention to it. Because once I leave this page now, I don't know what is going on here. So don't type question I will not see. You can just unmute, right? Okay, so just imagine a world where computers are not just machines, they are not just phones where you can only use and make calls, right? But it's even a step more than that. Okay, it has its own brains. By that I mean in quotes, we talk about that. So we are talking about creating smart system like humans that can mimic humans, that can think, that can learn, that can make informed decisions, that has history, where you can refer to it, refer them to what you did previously, and they will relate to that and give you information that links to what you did some days ago, some times ago. You can see that your chat GPT and others tools, AI tools that you're using have, should I say, that in memory. By in memory, I mean that they can store history where you can refer them to the chat or the question you asked them a few days ago, and they'll still give you answer that relates to that. So now computers is have left the era where you only pass manual instructions to it, how to open a file, how to, and all of that, all of those analog things, I should say, things you were using your computer to. So it's even gets smart where it can learn, can things, can reason, and all of that. So for the course of this class, I will deep dive into the world of AI, explaining what it is, what types are available today, and on the horizon, share artificial intelligence examples and how to use them. So in general, let's answer this question. It's a very big question. What is artificial intelligence? And if I should tell you this, there is no single definition that matches all that it does. Why I'm saying this, that it has different fields, it's different fields of applications. So if you say in health, it helps to diagnose disease, that's the definition in it. So if you say in the field of content, it helps generate content, that's the definition for it in that field. All right. So let me kind of throw a general, if it is, definition for it. So artificial intelligence, often called AI for short, refers to developing computer system that can perform tasks and usually require these tasks that usually require human intelligence. So now AI can do that. So it is like allowing your machines to think, to learn, and to make decision independently. So last week we looked at machine learning, so which is a subfield of artificial intelligence. So this week we are looking at artificial intelligence. So look at it as allowing machines to think, to learn, to make decisions independently on their own. Okay. So AI technology enables computer to analyze vast amounts of data, recognize pattern, and solve complex problems without being explicitly programmed all the time. So what does this imply? It's trying to tell you that it involves the creation of intelligent machine that can perceive things around us, or let me use the world in general, that can perceive the world around us, understand natural language, and adapt to changing circumstances. Okay, so that is my own definition I'm giving you in a kind of general applied to some other fields of AI. But let me see the definition I have in my documents. Okay, so for the documents, because artificial intelligence AI is broad and rapidly evolving field of computer science, focus on creating machines that can perform tasks that typically require human intelligence. So these tasks include learning, problem solving, decision making, speech recognition, and visual perceptions. At its core, AI aims to replicate or simulate human cognitive functions in computers. Wow, this is a lot. I believe some people nerves. Okay, I got some reaction. I thought that was a question. So I believe some people are really curious now. To like, there's a lot to this definition, and we will try to break it down. Okay. So we could check this from this diagram, component of artificial intelligence, what it does. Could check learning. It has the ability to acquire and apply knowledge. So it has the ability to acquire knowledge and also apply it. Decision making, it can act and choose between alternative. That is thinking this way, which one is good, compare two things and make decisions. Visual perceptions, the ability to interpret and understand visual information. This comes to your image recognition and all of that. Problem solving, the process of finding solutions to complex issues. And lastly, speech recognition, the capability to understand and interpret spoken language. Okay, so before we even get to the history of AI, let's check what the types we have. Okay, let me still stick to the history of AI first before the type. How how it came to existence, how it came to play, and how it came to where it is currently. So in the early 1950s, we have the birth of AI. So this is few people came in to discuss, and it gave birth to the Turing test. So it's popularly called the Alan's Turing test, and it was proposed in 1950. So it was a kind of paper computing machinery and intelligence. So it was a kind of a groundwork for evaluating machine. Okay, so let's see what is the Dartmouth workshop in 1956 is widely considered the official birth of AI as a field. Take notes, the Turing test. I'm very new to this. Remember, Saturday is your quiz sessions and hands-on practice. Although I'll still share these documents, but take notes to this to surely comes in your quiz sessions. All right, so AI as a field. Okay, so the key figures we have was the John M. Sikati, the Marvin Minsky, and Claude Shannon. So these people gathered to discuss the possibilities of creating a thinking machine. So this was just how it started. Now it gets to 1960s, which we could say the early enthusiasm and symbolic AI. Wow, that is huge. So early AI research focused on symbolic AI. So this was using symbols, okay, and that gets to where we add the ELIZA, which is a natural language processing computer program. We get to see that from here. So which involve representing knowledge using symbols. Okay, I've mentioned that symbols and rules. So program like ELIZA, a natural language processing computer program, and the SHADLU, an early natural language understanding computer program. So what this means is that it demonstrates the potential of AI in understanding and responding to human language using symbols. Okay, so we get to the 1970s, the AI winter. Now, despite the initial enthusiasm, AI research faced a significant challenge. It was just coming, and it was not that wide. The people didn't have do not have enough data, or should I say enough information about it. So it started facing significant challenge. So including some of these challenges include limited computing power and the difficulty in representing real world knowledge. So funding for AI projects rise up, and this leads to the first AI winter. Of course, you know what winter is. Do not have enough funds to fund the project, the research, and all of that. Okay, and in 1980s, this is where we have the expert system and the revival. Okay, so the development of expert system which use rule-based system to solve specific problems. We get to see that later. So this leads to a resurgence of interest in AI. This system was successfully applied in fields like medicine, finance, entertainment, and others. So, however, expert systems proved to be brittle and difficult to maintain, so leading to another period of disillusion. So we get to the 1990s where we have the statistical AI and machine learning. So the rise of statistical AI and machine learning marked a significant shift in the field. All right. So machine learning algorithms, which we looked at last week, such as um, um, vector machines, decision trees, allows computers to learn from large data without being explicitly programmed all the time. And here comes to this age and going forward, what we have now. So in the early 2000s, so this is where the deep learning and the AI boom came in. So this is where things started to make sense, where we can access enough information and all of that. So let's see. So the advance of deep learning, a subfield of machine learning. Of course, you know that machine learning is a subfield of artificial intelligence, right? So this allows artificial neurons network with multiple layers. We look at neural network today with multiple layers as revisionist. So AI deep learning has achieved remarkable success in areas like, we are aware of this because we use it on a daily, image recognition, large language processing. We even have the LLM, the large language model. ChatGPT use that, speech recognition, leading to current AI boom. So from here, it experienced huge success, and it has been successful to date. To see how viral it gets and how vast it is. Okay, so historical this we look at the early days and that. When I pass this to you, you can take your time and look at this. It's just the same thing we discussed. So for the sake of time, I'll skip this part. Now, applications of AI. Okay, so before I get to these applications, let's see the main types we have. So AI comes in different flavors, and I'm using this to track types of AI. I'm using this to track myself. So you can always refer me to this just in case I forgot, so that we don't leave anything untouched. Like I said, AI comes in different forms, in different patterns, in different flavors. So each with unique capabilities and characteristics. All right. And I want to explore now with you the top types of AI that has been developed over the years. And the first we have reactive machines. So these AI systems are all about the present moment. Okay, take note of that word, present moment. All right. So they analyze the current situation and respond based solely on available data. What they do is that they don't have memory or ability to learn from past experience. So that is why I mean that it is all about the present moment. Okay, they have inability to learn from past experience. So reactive machines excels in tasks like how many of you play chess? Yeah. So it excels in playing chess, and another is the I think that's the only one that comes to my mind now. It excels in chess playing and all of that. So another is theory in mind, theory in mind, theory in mind. And this type of AI takes a step even beyond what the reactive machine does. So what it does that it attempts to understand human emotion. Okay. So although this one is still in development age, is how should I put this? I can even call it future AI, because what it does that it attempts to understand human emotions, beliefs, and intentions. So that is not in place yet. AI that understands your emotions, that understands how you feel, your belief, and your intention. So we still will get there, but for now we don't have it. So what is those that it aims to develop systems that can perceive and interpret the mental states of individuals. So it's still a work in process though. Still a work in process. And this is applied in fields like psychology and human computer interaction. So if you know your psychology in schools, this is where this is trying to achieve. Okay, we have limited memory. So just as the name implies, because see, limited memory should send some. This on the spelling, there's no end. So for this one, just as the name implies, what it does that it is an AI system that have a very limited memory capacity, allowing them to retain and recall information from recent experience, but it is very limited. So what it does is that based on the past data, right, limited memory AI can learn and improve performance over time. And for just to know that this type of AI is commonly used in what I say, your chatbots, recommendation system, and customer service application. So it is widely used in customer service application. Just take note of that. And the last one, self awareness. Is that the spelling? Self awareness, or let me just say self aware AI. So for this one, I want you to imagine something. All right. So imagine an AI system that understands its environment and has a very sense of self-aware. Okay. So should I say it has gotten to a level of how should I even call it, a cutting edge concept that involves developing machines with consciousness and introspection, something like that. So while still early speculative, and the subject's ongoing research for this particular one, self-aware AI could have profound applications in fields like robotics and cognitive science. What I made mention of robots is that what they're trying to achieve here is where a robot is taken to a place, and it will understand that environment, it will be conscious of it, and have this sense of self-aware. All right. So that is it for us. Okay, so let's check the um AI types. Okay, we get to this first. So let's look at the field where AI is applied to. I'll just explain before I get to the one we have in the document. So AI has infiltrated nearly every industry that you should know. So now things are done and boundaries are being pushed like never before. For this, it gets to health scale sector, to finance, to entertainment, to a lot of field. All right. Now, first, let's check the application or the role of AI in healthcare. So AI is empowered or has been empowering healthcare professionals with advanced tools for diagnose, which help them to diagnose treatment and patients care. So what it does that it enable faster and more accurate medical image analysis. I'm still talking about the healthcare now. It also assists in discovery and helps predict diseases like you could say the epidemics based on vast amount of data, right? So I think now there's this virtual assistant, what should I say, doctors that has been going on. I don't know if people trust that, but yeah, if you could have a car that drive itself and people still enter, that means people trust this virtual assistant that can also provide personalized health care recommendation and monitor patients remotely. All right. So you could see how digitalized these things as gotten. And just not, I forget, we now have autonomous vehicles. So the rise of this autonomous vehicle is felt by AI, that vehicles that drives themselves, like your self-driving cars. So what they do is that they use AI algorithm censored technology to perceive and navigate the road. All right. So making transportation safer if it is safe. God, I'm looking myself. I'm imagining myself in a self-driving car right now. All right. Another feel is that it's helped retailers. Don't worry, I still come to this, but let me just give you explanation. So when I get to what is on the documents, at least you can relate to the two and it helps you understand better. So AI is transforming the retail landscape by optimizing inventory management and doing that. So I think recently I saw chatbots, like chatbots and virtual assistants. Okay. So what you do that they don't really have people to attend to you, but they have this chatbot assistant that can chat with you. Okay. And with that, it helps solve repetitive tasks, make it autonomous and automatic. And in the area of education, cannot overemphasize because back then, you know how much a textbook would cost, especially those in the medical field and law. But now, I don't know if people still buy textbooks. Okay, so AI is as a way that it's reading. You can just scout for material online, you can scout for resources online, learn, and voila, you are that saves you the cost of going to buy textbook and all of that. And another thing is that we have an intelligent tutoring system nowadays. Yes, there is. Okay, where it's provide a personalized learning experience, okay, to individual. So it's also what it does that it can also automate administrative tasks still in the school. So which free up time for educators just for them to focus on their tutoring work and all of that. And for finance, what it does that it helps reduce the risks of fraud. Last time we talked about email spamming. It does that. So if it should help check for email spam, that means the firm, what should I say, has helped manage or handle risks in that field. For manufacturing field, what it does that it improve efficiencies and enable predictive maintenance. Okay, so thereby getting feedbacks and review of all of that. Okay, so let's get to this. I was talking of a system and seems to leave some things behind. Let me go step by step now. So AI is for medical diagnosis, drug discovery, mentioned this, personalized medicine and robotics. This where the virtual what's personalized healthcare comes in that I made mention, and robotic surgery. For example, AI algorithms can analyze medical image. Maybe from your own scan, they can analyze, make interpretations to it, and with that, help detect disease like cancer with high accuracy. So for finance, AI is empowered for fraud detection. I made mention that your email spamming. So algorithm trading, risk management, and customer service. So AI-powered chatbots can handle customer inquiries and provide personalized finance and financial advice. Talk about where you have your virtual chatbot in that. So in transportation, this field is trending now where you have your self-driving cars. I made mention that autonomous vehicle with traffic management system and logistic optimization. So this I've talked about that. So manufacturing AI is used for predictive maintenance, quality control, and process optimization. For the retail, make mention this also. You can check the documents where I say. So what it does that it helps predict purchasing behavior and optimize marketing campaigns. Okay, so for education, I talked about this. AI is used for personalized training. I made mention where it saves you the cost of going to buy books, then you can just search materials online, filter it, and what with your history. They can also always recommend books to that field, thereby recommending some quality resource in that field for you. Intelligent tutoring system, I made mention this, where they offer a personalized tutoring assistance. Entertainment, I think it's the applications of AI is even more popular in this field, the entertainment field, where you have your contents and where content creators use it most. It helps you generate content, summarize article, helps you like gives you inspiration to video topics, recommends how should I say, recommends videos for you based on your history. It has really helped. It even helps songs writers generate their musical script. It even helps content creators generate their scripts. It's just realistic in this field. So I believe the the era of or the advent of AI. So it came in and with the entertainment field in mind. Right? So this. You can check it where I send the documents to you. AI application ranked by level of human interaction. You could see this and this. Okay, I'll send the document down. So let's get to types of AI in a very general sense. Yeah, because you might mention that, oh, we did talked about the so some of the other types that talk about the theory in mind and limited memory, like all of this. But in a very general sense, which some of these are classified under, we look at the narrow AI, also called weak AI, and we also look at the general AI, also called strong AI. Okay, for this general AI, what it does that it handles or performs specific tasks. Okay, so for example, an AI tool that is graded to generate image. So if it's created to generate image, it will not really function well in writing scripts. You get that? So it's what it does that it excel or perform efficiently in its own domain. Okay, so it lacks this ability of generalizing its knowledge, whereby maybe a how should I say generate image, bam, it generates it, write script, it's right, and produce content, it's produced. But this one is that it's just a specific domain AI, if I should call it that way, and it excels best at its own domain. Okay, so I don't know if that makes sense, but let's look at the definition. So from the definition, narrow AI is designed to perform a specific task. I made mention of that, or limited range of tasks. So it excels within its defined domain, but lacks the ability. Hope I'm still connected, right? And lacks the ability to generalize its knowledge or skill to other areas. So most AI system is used today under the category of narrow AI, just as the name implies. So it's some of its characteristics is that it's specialized. That means it is designed for a specific task. Could have an AI tool that can recognize image, AI tools that can generate text. Some of them we call it text to text, text to video, video to text, and of that. And another characteristic is that it has limited scope, cannot perform tasks outside its domain. I talked about this, where, for example, your Microsoft FX that is known to generate image, you cannot tell it, oh, leave your task, come and write content for me, come and write articles for me. Or you take your Grammarly that helps you write articles, helps you write essay, and tell grammar, oh, come and generate image for me. It will not do that. So that is why it has limited scope, data driven. So what is that? It relies on large or vast amount of data, where it learns on that data to improve. So as it's continuously learning from the data, it improves its performance based. So example is your image recognition. Talked about that. AI algorithm that can identify objects, phrase, and scenes in image. Speech recognition, AI system that can transcribe spoken language into text. Recommended system, AI algorithm that suggests products, movies, and music based on users' preference. Okay, this saves history. For example, maybe you've been going to a particular site to check. So what it does that it saves your history and your own preference. So next time you go to the site, it will suggest things based on what you like or what you've been using or based on your preference. Okay, so self-driving cars we mentioned. So why complex self-driving cars are still considered as narrow? Because it is designed to carry out this particular task. Okay, just to navigate the road and cannot perform tasks like come and cook or generate content. So it's domain specific and excels in their domain. Okay, so this is a diagrammatic visualization of that. Can see from a self-driving cars to recommendation of systems, spam filters, and speech recognition. I will leave the documents after class so we can check this out, but it's just what we discussed here. Now, the general AI. So just as the name implies, but this one is is not live yet, if I should use the word, because it is an AI that is perceived or that can perform like human like tasks. So it is not live yet. So it is an AI that can perform different tasks, and it is perceived to have human level of intelligence. Okay, so it is kind of um any intellectual task that human can perform, so it too should. All right, so let's check the wording. So general AI refers to AI system that possesses human level intelligence and can perform any intellectual tasks that a human being can. I made mention that general AI would be able to understand, learn, adapt, and implement knowledge across wide range of domains. So imagine one AI doing this. It can generate text, can generate image, it can think, it can learn, perceive intentions, just a general knowledge across a wide range of domains. So let's check out its characteristics. So characteristics of general AI. First is human level intelligence. So it can perform in any task that is performed by human, any intellectual task that human can do. It still can. Generalization can apply knowledge and skill to new situations, to new things that it has not done before, to new scenarios. Adaptability can learn and adapt to changing environments. Reasoning can reason, can plan, can solve complex questions. So this one, let's say it does not wait for instruction. It will see problem. It will think. It will solve it. All right. So examples of some of these of how should I say, examples of this general is a general AI. Although it's not exist, it's not in existence yet. Should we say it is theoretical or in our own imagination? But it's still under research though. So since we even have AI comes to play and can do what it has been doing now, so let's say this will be possible. This will be possible, but it just requires more work, more research, and all of that. So AI does not exist yet. It remains theoretical concept and a long-term goal of AI research. So this is just what we talked about: adaptability, reasoning, generalization, human level intelligence. You have your time more to on this way. Okay, let me discuss this before I even go to before I even go to the benefits of AI. Let's see the gap between narrow AI and what's general AI. Of course, you should see that there is a very big gap. There is a very um there's a very big it's I don't know if that bridge if that gap will ever be bridged or what, but with the explanations, you can see that this one is at the very far left and this one is at the very far right, based on their abilities. Okay, so the gap between narrow AI and general AI is significant. While narrow AI has made remarkable progress, because this narrow AI falls under all the AIs that we have been using now. So they've been making remarkable progress in recent years, achieving in recent years. Yeah, because it has helped a lot. It has helped in repetitive tasks. It has helped in our different fields. It has helped in our career. So if at this level we call it narrow and it has achieved this greatness, it has achieved this remarkable progress, right? But for the general AI, just like we say, so it still remain formidable challenges, and some of the key obstacles include knowledge representation. So representing real world knowledge in a way that AI system can understand and use complex problem. Common sense reasoning for this narrow AI now. So human possesses a vast amount of common sense knowledge that allows them to make inferences and understand the world. Okay, consciousness and sentiment. So whether AI system can ever achieve consciousness or sentiment, it is still philosophical. Okay, so this question remains unanswered if we will ever get to this level of general AI, where one AI performs different tasks, can read intentions, can 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 perform tasks human being does, can see problems, don't wait for instructions, but see problems and solve it. Okay, so that is that between narrow AI and general AI. So outside its applications, we still have the benefits of artificial intelligence. I am not included in this document, but let me see. Do I have it in my list? Introduction types. Okay, I did not include it there, but I just gets my mind now. I just remember, and I like let me say it if I forget. Some of the benefits of AI, which you can attest with me, because you've been using it on a daily. Yeah, it has helped you. You've benefited from AI. So some of the benefits is that it reduces human error. So what is just that by reducing human errors, it leads to even more accuracy and consistent outcomes. So that's like in accounting, in the financial field where we get to handle large vehicles. So of course, this with human, they will even with some level of accuracy, they will still wear some errors. But using AI in that field, it reduces that human error. And another benefit is that it can automate repetitive tasks that could have been achieved by human manually. What AI does that it automates it. It automates it. So with this, it saves time, it's saved time, it's increased efficiency and saved money. Because some of this, what I said, is saved money that you could have employed people to do this, because this tax is actually very large and repetitive. Could have employed people to do this, but with AI coming to automate the process for you, it saves your business time and increase efficiency and also helps you save money. So in the data analysis field, where we saw that AI processes and analyzes large volumes of data. So with just a click or with just a prompt, it can help clean your data. It can help fill in missing columns, and it can help check for duplicates. We did that last few weeks, so I'm bringing it now. So it can analyze and, how should I say, it can analyze complex data sets for you. So with this, it enables faster decision making and response time. Okay, and just not to forget, I will not stop mentioning the entertaining field, the entertainment field rather. They've benefited a lot from intelligence, from AI. Okay, so for that, I don't know why. I just remember, but I did not have here. We still have limitation. In as much that it has achieved this, am I still connected? All right. In as much as it has achieved this, it still has its own limitation. Okay, and for that, it is best in the general AI level, where it doesn't understand its emotions. Currently, we don't have AI that understands emotions, that can perceive intentions, that can read your mind. All right, and people who are not really enlightened still don't trust this AI, especially when it's come to the virtual assistance AI that can helps you do tasks. Okay, so be like, can I trust this? So people are still being skeptical about that. Okay, and you should know that AI does not really have its own common sense, if I should say. Okay, so it still lacks in that area. Nobody is expanding. Let me even still wait. Okay, do you have any questions? It's as if I'm talking alone and all of that.
No, I don't have any questions.
Okay, okay, okay. Let me make it this way. People ask this question if they can use AI to make money. People ask this, but in some ways you can, and I want to say yes, it is possible because by leveraging on this AI tools, okay, it can help you in your business. It can help you automate repetitive tasks by save money. It can help you improve efficiency. Okay, so this can result in cost saving and new business opportunity. Just give you inspiration and all of that. Of course, the entertainment field have been using it so well, so often. Okay, so that is that for AI. We've seen the benefits, I forgot that, and we've also seen the limitations. But there's a future trend, okay, which we still up on the general AI. And yeah, just not I forget, we have this recent example of AI innovation, okay, like the real-time voice translation. So in that field, it is recently, yeah. In that field, it's now has the ability, or it's now capable of translating spoken language into real time. So for this, it makes easy for people to communicate across even language barriers. So what that means is that even if okay, me, I speak English, I speak Ibibio. So from you, maybe you don't understand Ibibio, but and I don't understand English, but you understand English. So if you have this AI tools with us, I can still use my Ibibio and communicate to you while it's just translate it to English. So by bridging this language barriers, okay, and all of that. Okay, so let's look at neural network. Let's look at neural networks too. Let's see where time can take us. I think I have a little of it, but let me give you a very general overview of it before I get to this document. So a neural network or artificial neural network is a type of computing architecture that is based on what? Based on model on how human brain functions. So for this, you could say that it's got its own inspiration from the human brain, how the human brain works. Remember the name neural network. Okay, so it's get inspired by how the human brain works. Okay, so it's trying to mimic the human brain and function how the human brain works. Okay, so hence the name, like I've said, neural. So they are made of collections of processing units, and each unit is called a node. We look at all of that. Each unit is called a node. So this node passes data to each other, just like our brain does. Okay, just like how your brain neurons pass in taking me to science now, pass electrical impulse to each other. So what the neural network is that it passes data to each node. All right, so that is very broad. But how do neural network works? Before I even get to its structure, let me check the wordings from the version from our document. Neural networks are fundamental components of many modern AI systems, particularly in the field of deep learning. They are inspired by the structure and functions of human brain and are designed to learn from data. Yeah, that is it. But what I gave you as more than what you said. So let's even go deep at this three structure, like the basic, because they are not could have more of this, but this is the minimum. It can go beyond or below these three, but it can go beyond. So let's look at this basic structure of neural network. I'll try to break it down, but just yeah, let me take in this diagram, then you visualize it with me. So now these neural networks are composed of collections of nodes, like I mentioned, and the nodes are spread across these three layers. And you could see the first layer is the input data. I'll explain them one by one. Then it gets to this hidden layer and the outer layer, or the, should I say, the final result. So now these three that you have seen here now are the minimum. Okay. So what that means is that neural network can have more than one hidden layer. This hidden layer in addition to the input layer and the output layer. So no matter which layer is part of each node, like each of these, no matter how each layer is part. So what you should know that each of these node performs some sort of pre-processing tasks or functions. Okay, let me use functions is slow now. On whatever input it's received. So it's pre-processed, it's perform a pre-processing task from whatever input it received from the previous node or the input node. Let me call it. So essentially each node contains it contains some mathematical functions. Okay, so that's why I'm saying it's deep to it. So now I want you to visualize something. Now I want to bring a real life application to this so that you can understand what I'm trying to make. Now just imagine this. Imagine maybe an accounting department in any company or in any firm, which has strict hierarchy. Okay, let's say, okay, now let's call this my input hierarchy as maybe the manager. Let's call this the director, and let's call this the CEO. Okay, so it has a very strict hierarchy. Okay, and let's say this manager, my input data, this director, my hidden layer, and this final report, the CEO, wants to make an expenses or they want to approve expenses in that department. Okay, and the manager first approve expenses of let's say 1,000, or let's say 10,000. Let me use it that way. Now to even visualize it, look at this manager. At your own level, you can approve, because it's mind it has strict hierarchy. So at its own level, you can approve the expenses of what 1,000. So it gets to this level now. Still remember strict hierarchy. It can approve, and this was our director, right? Can approve the expense of 10,000, and this other person can approve the expenses of 100,000. So at this your level, manager cannot exceed your own expense. Okay, so each of them you submit it will submit their expenses for what? For approval, so that they will check, oh, this does not exist your level. I don't know if the what the scenario that I'm trying to bring in now makes more sense by helping you understand more. Okay, so let's get to, so that way I've explained this now. Input layer, it received data. Hidden layer perform computations on data. A neural network that can have multiple layers. I've mentioned this, that it can have more than one hidden layer. Okay, and what's the output layer, which produces a final result. Okay, so that is that for this. So just as each connection between neurons has a weight associated with it, which determines the strength of the connections, that was. So neurons also have an activations function, which determines whether a neuron will fire or based on the weight it sums up. No, this might still seems confusing, but don't worry, I'll still send documents to read from the listen. So from these three, let's check how neurons works. Neural network learns through a process called training. We've talked about training in our machine learning class, which involves adjusting the weights. And in this case, can relate it to the machine learning class, which involve adjusting the parameters that I mentioned in machine learning class. Parameters or features, yeah, features. Of course, you know that your features are examples. So for this, let's use let's use words. So which involve adjusting the weight of the connections between neurons to minimize the differences between the network output and the desired output. So network output and desired output. But in machine learning, we add the predictive, the value, and the actual value. I'm just trying to relate it or to connect it so that you can take something from it. So this is typically done using a technique called back propagation. Talked about this. So which involves calculating this now, calculating the gradient of error function and updating weights in the opposite directions of the gradients. Can see back these weights as, should I say, examples or features. All right, so types of neural network. First, we have the feed-forward neural network. Let me explain before I come to what is here. So for the feed-forward neural network or multi-layer perceptrons. So for short, you could call it MLPS, multiple layer perceptrons. Okay. So what are they? So these MLPS or multiple layers perceptrons are what we've primarily been focusing on within the course of all these that I've been saying. So they are comprised of an input layer. They're comprised of an input layer, an hidden layer, or layers, because you know that these hidden layers can have multiple layers, and output layer. So while these neural networks are also commonly referred to as MPLs, multiple layers perceptrons, is that it is important to know that they are actually they like they contain sigmoid sigmoid. Is that the spelling? No, yeah, sigmoids. This sigmoids. So they contain sigmoid neutrons, not perceptrons. So at most, real world problems are your non-linear how should I say progression, which we talked about in the machine learning class. I know this might get confusing, but calm down. I will try my best to break it down. Still send these documents and other readable materials. So for the this is for the multiple layers perceptions, the NLPS. This can also be called that. So for this one, the convolutional neural network, this CNN. I'll still come to this and state their differences, but let me explain first. So for this one, they are similar to this feed-forward neural network, but with just little differences. So which is that they are usually utilized for image recognition. This one. So their field or their function is on image recognitions and pattern recognitions. Okay, kind of computer vision, something like that. So this network a nice principle from your linear algebra and all of that. Let me not go deep so that I'll not confuse you. So it's just like this. Let me break it down now. It's just like this one, but it has um little differences whereby it functions in your image recognition and pattern recognition for this. And just to know that this one is the simplest type of neural network where data flows only in one direction. That is from input to output. Okay. Are you lost somewhere? I know you are, but just calm down. So another is recurrent neural network, the RNNs. Let me still explain before I get to this. So these one are identified by their feedback loop, and these are learning algorithms that primarily leverage when using time series data. This might confuse you because we are not here yet. There's this machine learning course you take. I think this is it next week. So by that time you get to understand it better. But just follow for today so that when we get here it will make more sense. So it uses time series data to make prediction about future outcomes. No, now example of real life example of this is taking market stock prediction or kind of forecasting sales. Like okay, if it's not raining today, I'll have a lot of sales. If it's not public holiday where people stay at home, I'll sell things like that. Okay, so let's see the document heading. So it is designed for pre-processing sequential data such as text and speech. They have feedbacks connection that allows them to maintain memory in the past inputs. Okay, and another one which sometimes not usually included, but I included it here, is the long short-term memory, LSTM. So for this, it's a type of RNN, this recurrent neural network that is better at holding long-term dependencies, long-term and all of that in a sequential data form. Okay, so which types of should be used based on their specific tasks? Now, based on the tasks, of course, you know that this one, what it does when I mentioned that it's good at recognizing image and patterns. Okay, so you now check the areas where it is used and decide when to use which and when not to use which. So for the feed-forward network, I also mentioned that this one you can also call the multi-layer perceptions. So it's suitable for simple and one-dimensional data processing. So for this one now, you just like from the input to the output. And this one now, I made mention that it's ideal for image recognition, pattern recognition. So it is ideal for image and video processing and all of that. So RNS, is for sequential data. I'm trying, yeah, recurrent neural network. It's for sequential data like text and speech. So this one What it does that it maintains memory of past inputs. So it's kind of store histories. So this one is that it's excellent at handling long range dependency or long term, could call it that in a sequential manner. And of course, your GANs used for generating new data similar to it. Okay, let me just stop here because it's getting confusing. But for that, you know that applications of neural network for your CNNs, which is used for this your convolutional neural network is used for image recognitions, pattern recognitions, like it helps detect objects. Okay, so it's applied in this area, like the facial recognition. I could see that OPE uses the first recognition as their source of authentication. So these are some of their real life applications. Okay, so that is where we call it a day to day because the cost is paid. It's getting confusing and all of that. Yes, I know because this is your first time. So I'll drop this document on the group, and I will also make sure that I send some reading materials which will guide you. So the class explanation plus this document and other resources that I'll send will guide you understand better. So let's call it a day. Please don't just go and sit because these are advanced stuff. Just go and read. When you read, you understand. And when you read, write about it. Just write some article about it. It makes you understand better.